I thought we just, we came out with the right mentality for one. I think sometimes when your mind and your focus is on something, especially when you're a great player in this league, you're able to just kind of come into the game differently. And I thought that was the first thing. And we got into the paint. I thought our pace was great. So it was like when we got the ball across half court, it was right into the action. We weren't slow. We weren't allowing them to just get into coverages. We were just make or miss. We was pushing the ball up and getting right into it, attacking, getting into the paint, making them help, and making the extra pass. The ball went where it was supposed to, and I think our minds was just right. Our intentions was right, and it just led to a lot of good things, and we sustained it for the entire quarter.
Um, I mean, you mentioned mentality. Doc talked about the focus of ball movement. Why do you think it happens more infrequently maybe than you would all would like at times, that you have that and start a game with that and kind of maintain it?
I think, it's not easy. Like the way that you generate, good shots and good offense sometimes when it's flowing and when you kind of have a quarter like that, it's easy to forget how hard you were working and how hard you were going to allow that stuff to come, because when you do it, the hard work, things come easier. Like it seems like, you get higher shot quality and more energy is going into the game when you do the hard work. And then over the course of a game, you just think that it's going to continue to happen, So I think it's natural. Like at every level I've played at, I've seen it where it's like you just kind of stop doing what you were doing, the things that went into that type of success. And it's hard to sustain. And then I think you also have to factor in when you're doing it and then the shots stop going in and then the other team starts making shots, you start to try to find a way to answer it instead of just continuing to trust, what you were doing even when it's not working. But the best teams, they sustain it. They just keep doing it over and over and over and wear teams out. And I think, that's what we're working towards.
Brooke, very aggressive. I mean, even with putting the ball on the deck and driving from beyond the three-point line, even finishing around the rim. What kind of difference did he make today in that way also?
I thought he made a huge difference. I think it was a couple times Giannis was having a matchup at the elbow or attacking downhill, and Brooke is just diving to the rim, and he just lob it up, and it's just nobody in there bigger than him. And I think the games where Brooke is, sometimes he's rolling, sometimes he's low and taking up space in the paint, we look and feel bigger out there. And, I think tonight was just one of those nights. He just decided, I'm going to play a physical game. I'm going to be in the paint. We saw that, the size was in our favor. And, he played a great game. He took up a lot of space, and his size was evident out there.
You had that block early in the game that I think led to a Lopez three on the other end of the floor. Just if you could tell me, when did you kind of realize you had a chance to chase him down, and how that kind of set the tone for that first quarter?
I think, one thing we've been talking about is the schemes and the X's and O's and all of that stuff is one thing, but our team's competitive spirit has to be better. I think that's a way to get ourselves going. And in that situation, I was like, I could just attack the ball and try to strip it or whatever, or I could just meet him up top and make a play on the ball. And that was what I did. I was able to get a hand on it, and that led to a good shot for us on the other end. And those are the type of plays that, you see Giannis making, you see Brooke making, you see Dre making. I think it just has to be a complete team effort. We all got to be willing to get on the floor and make those types of efforts, because it's infectious and it's the type of plays that we need throughout the game.
I was going to ask you about the team spirit, actually. So you feel like that's one of those things where for your team, it's a lead by example type of momentum?
I think that's part of it, but I think it's more so everybody has to be in on it. We all got to be willing to, like I said, get to loose balls, take charges, just make those extra effort plays, on offense and defense. Sometimes it might be the ball swings and there's three guys on one side. Somebody got to get themselves up and cut. If they front Giannis, somebody has to flash and try to look for the high-low. I think it's just the extra effort and giving ourselves up and just, doing the things that the team needs us to do. And that's just one of those types of plays. But I think top to bottom, we all need to see each other doing it. We all need to see the buy-in, and I think that's just that play is just one example.
When we know that Orlando, it's going to be a physical game tomorrow. You guys have the crowd to back you, unlike in Orlando. What other things do you need to compete against them tomorrow night?
I just think we have to, I've said this a few times, understand how we're playing and the things that we're doing when we're successful. And when we do that, I think we'll have success against any team. We've shown that. And especially on our home floor, when you got your crowd behind you, everything feels 10 times better when it happens. Somebody hit a three, it feels 10 times better. Giannis gets a dunk, it feels 10 times better than when you're on the road. So we'll have the home court advantage. I just think we got to come into it with the right focus and mentality, knowing that when we are that way, we can have a night like tonight against any team.
I'm just finally off that. And Doc said this earlier too. He's like, if we could bottle this, and it'd be better than we've seen, I guess, at times with the losses and some stickiness. How can you guys tap into that more often? And I understand the other team gets paid too, but the ball movement or doing those right things would attack a closeout or cut or kind of have that focus and mentality.
I think the number one thing is just governing ourselves. Our coaches are always the ones saying something, and I think for our team, it's time for us to get on each other's ass, Like the ups and downs, is, we too good of a team for it. We see what it looks like when we do these things, and when we don't, I think it's just reached the point where we gotta address each other however we need to just be like, enough is enough. And we know what's right and we know what's wrong. We know when somebody's doing their job and they're not, and we got to be willing to, have those kind of uncomfortable moments with each other. And then on the other side, we got to be willing to take it from our teammates if we want to be successful, like we say. I think that's how you hold on to it, because you're gonna have some slippage, you're gonna have some breakdowns, but like we gotta check each other and correct each other when it's going that way, so we can, like Doc said, hold on to this type of spirit and this type of energy that we had in a game like tonight.
Dame, sorry. This on Friday, there's Unrivaled is starting. It's like a 3-on-3. I was just curious, like if you've kind of are aware of it, just kind of what your thoughts are, if you followed it or.
I mean, I'm a WNBA fan, so I've been kind of following along, just seeing who's on what team. I follow a lot of WNBA players, so I think it's cool to have something like that for them where they're not having to go overseas, during their off season and be away from their families. And, we saw the experience that Brittany Griner had. So just the fact that something is being created in their favor where they can still be here and still have the same opportunity to play and to earn something for themselves is, I think is great for them. It shows growth in the women's game. And I'm just interested because, you get to see some of the best WNBA players playing with other players outside of the team that they play on in the W. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, them just mingling. And it's kind of like how we are at All-Star Weekend. You get to play with dudes you never get to play with. And for them having, Unrivaled and being able to do that, I think is pretty cool.